In 1969, in Pasadena, California, a Hispanic couple hurriedly make their way to a medium, Sean Sandina's house, pleading with her to help their son Juan. He has been hearing voices for the past 3 days and claims something is coming for him. Upon questioning, the parents reveal that Juan stole a silver necklace from a gypsy's wagon. When they tried to return it, the gypsy refused to take it. Sandina prepares a seance, but an unseen force attacks them and smacks the adults before going after Juan, who is pushed off the balcony. Luckily, he survives the fall, but the gates of hell open underneath him and a hand appears that drags him to hell. Sandina vows to meet with this demon again and fight it. Cut to the present-day Los Angeles. A bank loan officer, Christine Brown, is contending for a promotion to assistant manager with her coworker Stu Robin. When she talks about it with her boss, Mr. Jacks, he tells her that Stu is not afraid to crunch the numbers and make tough decisions, hinting she needs to up her game and demonstrate tough decision-making. Christine heads out to lunch and meets up with her psychiatrist boyfriend, Clay Dalton. She gives him a rare coin she found at the bank. He puts it in an envelope and tells her he'll add it to his coin collection. Once back at the office, Christine meets a client, Sylvia Ganush, an elderly, disheveled woman who asks for an extension on her mortgage. Initially, Christine intends to help her, but Mr. Jacks tells her the bank makes large fees from such seizures and lets Christine make the final decision. Christine really wants the promotion, and to show she can make tough decisions too, she denies Sylvia's request. Sylvia starts crying and begging to let her keep her home. She goes down on her knees, tugging on Christine's skirt as she tries to help Sylvia stand up. But Sylvia doesn't budge, prompting Christine to call security. Sylvia looks around to see all eyes on her. Feeling insulted, she pounces on Christine, but the security guards grab her and escort her out. Later in the evening, Christine is leaving for home when Sylvia attacks her in the parking lot. The two women get into an intense fight, and after some hair-ripping, eye-stapling, biting, and stabbing each other, Christine is able to throw Sylvia out of her car. But Sylvia breaks the car window with a concrete brick and drags Christine out. All this just so she can rip a button off Christine's coat and curse it before handing it back to her. Christine later reports the incident and Clay arrives to pick her up. As they walk to their car, something makes Christine want to go to a fortune teller. So they visit one, Ram Dass, who after getting a frightening image of a demon tells her a dark spirit has come upon her. He suspects someone cursed her. Once back home, Christine starts hearing noises coming from outside her house. She goes to check it out when suddenly an unseen force terrorizes her before smashing her on the counter. After Clay returns, he's shocked to see Christine hurt and is about to call the police, but Christine dismisses the instance and says she might be experiencing PTSD after what happened with Sylvia. To help her get her mind off things, Clay promises to take her on a weekend getaway. That night, Christine dreams of Sylvia, who continues her bite attacks before regurgitating maggots in her mouth. The next day at work, Christine hallucinates about Sylvia and starts bleeding from her nose. It starts with a few drops until it seems as if someone opened a tap inside her, and she ends up spewing blood all over Mr. Jacks. Embarrassed, she runs out, while Stu takes the opportunity to steal Christine's file containing details of a major deal. To put a stop to these strange occurrences, Christine goes to visit Sylvia to beg for forgiveness. There, she meets Sylvia's granddaughter, who mocks her for showing up after what she has done. To further make matters worse, she's pushed into a celebratory event. Christine looks confused, but just then she stumbles upon something and lands on Sylvia's corpse. It turns out to be Sylvia's funeral. The weight breaks one of the table legs, and Sylvia's corpse ends up falling on Christine, and there's another sloppy, toothless gum session. Even in death, Sylvia rips a large chunk of Christine's hair out before her corpse is put back in the open casket. Sylvia's granddaughter approaches Christine and says she deserves all forthcoming troubles. Scared, Christine revisits Jas, who explains she's being tormented by a demon named Lamia, the black goat that's only summoned by gypsies. For the first 3 days, the Lamia appears as a nasty spirit that torments its victims, after which it reveals itself as the Soul Taker. Jas says that it goes after the owner of a cursed object, in Christine's case, the button of her coat. He suggests making a blood offering to appease Lamia. Christine freaks out because, of course, she is a vegetarian. But if a demon is after someone, the lengths they might go to save themselves is surprising. The same can be said for Christine, who gets tormented by Lamia and gets a free thrill ride in the comfort of her home. This prompts her to sacrifice her poor kitty to get rid of the curse. Later, she accompanies Clay to meet his parents. While at dinner, Christine impresses them with her honesty and intellect. But all of a sudden, Christine starts seeing and hearing things. She loses it and smashes a glass at the door while screaming to be left alone. This leaves the parents worried for their son, thinking Christine is sick and needs help. Enraged, Christine returns to Jazz, claiming the sacrifice didn't work. Jazz matter-of-factly states that these things don't come with a guarantee. He suggests they need to speak with the spirit itself, and for that he recommends going to Sandina, who can help them do that. But she charges a fee of $10,000. So the next day at the office, Christine meets Mr. Jax to ask if she can get an advance on her salary, but Mr. Jax doesn't look pleased. The big deal that Christine had worked very hard to get had just been canceled, and Mr. Jax is considering Stu for the assistant manager position. Annoyed at everything turning against her, she goes back home to gather all the electronics to sell and get money when Sylvia's ghost shows up again. Christine somehow saves herself as Sylvia shoves her arm down Christine's throat. Unable to gather enough money, Christine cries her eyes out while eating ice cream. Clay returns home and tells her he paid Jazz because even though he doesn't believe in superstition, he knows Christine does and he believes her. Christine goes to Sandina's house. Sandina had been waiting for this opportunity for many years to destroy the spirit she encountered and redeem herself for letting a little boy fall prey years ago. She prepares for a seance and brings out a goat needed for the ritual. They plan to trap Lamia in the goat's body before sacrificing the animal. They begin the seance, but random spirits appear and Sandina banishes them. Only after them does Lamia show up and possesses Sandina. Christine waits for the right opportunity, and just when she sees one, she places Sandina's hand on the goat, transferring Lamia into the goat. The goat suddenly starts speaking and cursing Christine for tricking him. Sandina's assistant prepares to eliminate the goat but gets bitten by it and soon gets possessed. He goes after Christine and pukes the corpse of her cat before saying he wants Christine's soul. Sandina banishes Lamia before it harms Christine, but she dies soon after. Christine thinks she's out of danger, but Jazz corrects her by telling her that a medium cannot banish Lamia, and it was only a message from him to Christine to let her know what awaits her. Jazz seals Christine's button in an envelope and asks her to give it to someone to pass on the curse as her last resort. She only has till morning before Lamia comes for her. Clay picks Christine up, and they are driving back when suddenly a man appears in front of their car and Clay presses on the brakes hard, causing Christine's purse and Clay's work bag to spill its contents and documents on the car floor. Christine haphazardly grabs her things in the envelope with the button before getting out and promises to meet Clay at the train station the day of their trip. Christine heads to a diner and blackmails her colleague Stu into meeting her there, threatening to expose his theft of a loan file. When Stu arrives and pleads with her, Christine's conscience prevents her from passing the curse to him. Christine thinks of a way to get out of this mess when an idea pops in her head. After confirming it with Jazz, she drives to the cemetery to shove the envelope down Sylvia's throat. She reaches the cemetery and digs up Sylvia's grave. Once she reaches the casket, she breaks it open and tries placing the envelope in Sylvia's hand, but Sylvia is more interested in Christine's hair, and after ripping a chunk for the umpteenth time, Christine is pissed. Using a shovel to open Sylvia's mouth, she makes a formal declaration of giving the envelope to Sylvia as a gift and shoves it down her throat. Finally happy that her curse has been lifted, Christine returns home to take a hot shower and gets ready for the trip. She gets a call from Mr. Jax, who tells her that they found Stu stole Christine's file and approached the rival bank with the proposition. When confronted, Stu attempted to frame Christine but eventually broke down, leading to his dismissal. Consequently, Christine is awarded the promotion. In high spirits, Christine buys a new coat before meeting Clay, who intends to propose during their trip. Christine acknowledges her mistake with Sylvia's loan. Their moment is shattered when Clay reveals an envelope containing the cursed button, revealing she mistakenly took his envelope containing the quarter she had given him earlier. Shocked, Christine backs off and falls onto the tracks in front of an oncoming train. As Clay attempts to rescue her, the ground opens and Lamia drags her into hell, leaving Clay stunned and helpless. That concludes today's horror recap of Drag Me to Hell. Smash that subscribe button to lift the curse of Lamia, and drop a comment with your recommendations for the next horror movie you'd like us to recap.